Hello everyone, CMeeCraft here, and welcome to the stream. Last week we played a bit of Fate Stay Nights, the prologue specifically, and now we're going to be playing more of it. Don't know how much more, but we're going to be playing more. The story was intriguing to me, so we're continuing it today. As for the rest of the schedule this week, no Friday stream currently planned. But Thursday we do have Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane, which should be fun. Any of y'all who enjoyed the Danganronpa streams, you should probably enjoy those, because they're similar. Same sort of like mystery, investigate, solve a crime deal. I will say, though, that today's been kind of crazy for me. And unfortunately, I've been trying to get, as any of you who've been following for bits for the last like week or so know, I've been having an issue with my capture card for getting Switch games to work, unfortunately. And I've been still trying to get that fixed. However, a whole nother wrench has been thrown into that issue, which is, none of the outlets in my studio / like, home office work anymore. Like, there's a big, like, power surge or something, and in the wake of that, just literally nothing works in here anymore. So, like, my TV, my Switch, like, that whole thing doesn't work. My computer, in theory, shouldn't have worked. I've actually had to snake around a cord to plug it into an outlet in the neighboring room, so we're doing what we can. We are doing what we can. New plan, let's not try dying. Yeah. In the game and in real life. But yeah, so I've had someone come out and fix it, but the issue is their fix seems to have been so fragile that even like plugging in like one or two things causes the whole thing to like short circuits. So like, for example, like even just like it was working, I had the lights going and everything, and then I plugged in my laptop, just my laptop, and like a single light bulb, and then boom, it doesn't work anymore. So my laptop that I'm using to monitor the stream is on battery power, so hopefully that doesn't die in the middle of this. And here I can actually show you. Let's get to stream view. So I've got this, let me just turn this off real quick so I don't blind everyone. I've got a light here, right? This lamp that I use so I'm not just illuminated from one side of my face. Anyways, so normally that's just plugged into a plug over here, but like I said, all of the plugs on this side, in this room, so this way, and the plug I'm using for my computer is like snaking around this way. Everything this way doesn't work. Everything that way doesn't work. And normally that's just plugged in like over here. So instead what I've done is I've got the cord like snaked over my lap, also plugged over this way. It only barely reaches. It's like floating here. It's very taut. So yeah. Anyway, there we go. But yeah, so let's get on with this. Why was I in the gallery? Because it's cool music for the stream thing. This is cool music too, though. Maybe we'll do that next time. Anyways, are we loading a game? I'm not sure if... I don't think we are actually loading a game, because... yeah, that just takes us back into the prologue. I think we're actually starting a new game here. Okay, what's this? I am the bone of my sword. Steel is my body, and fire is my blood. I've created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, nor known to life. Have withstood pain to create many weapons, yet those hands will never hold anything. So as I pray, unlimited blade works. Is that a mushroom cloud on the horizon that we're zooming into now? I don't know, it kinda looks like it. Oh, wow. Wow, this looks bad. When I came to, I was lying in a burning field. It must have been a big fire. The familiar town was an unrecognizable smoking ruin. It looked like a scene from a war movie. The sight didn't last long, though. As morning dawned, the fires gradually died down. The towering walls of flame shrunk to embers, and most of the buildings looked to have collapsed. It felt so strange being the only unchanged thing in town. So I wonder, is this like a specific historical event that we're in right now? I could see it. I was the only one left alive. Like, if we're staying... I mean, there's all sorts of... I'd assume maybe sometime in World War II makes sense. Like, you had a lot of very aggressive bombing campaigns in that war. You know, whether we're talking, like, the bombings of, like, Dresden, firebombing of Tokyo, obviously the nuclear bombs. I was either fortunate or the house I'd been inside was built on the luckiest ground of all time. Either way, I was the only one alive. Since I'd survived, I felt I needed to keep on living. I walked aimlessly, thinking it would be dangerous terrain where I was. It wasn't that I wanted to avoid becoming what had happened to everyone around me, those scorched, blackened masses, or a Grail War. True. Well, the thing is, though, like, I assume this is part of, like, a Grail War, I guess. But as I understand, this world is, like, rooted in, like it's based on the real world to a certain extent. Right, like, even the servants are based on, I think, real-life historical and or mythological figures, so... Like, I'm assuming that they'll have, like, ties like, oh, this was the last Grail War, and it was actually this thing. Maybe not, I don't know. It wasn't a feeling of disgust. Some other emotion was driving me on. At the same time, I had no hope. It was a miracle I was alive at all. I didn't think I was going to last much longer. There was just no way in hell I was going to survive. There was simply no way I would ever escape this crimson hellscape, no matter what I did. That was how desperate, how hellish this place was, even through the eyes of a young boy. And then I collapsed. Either there was no air around me, or I simply couldn't breathe anymore. I just collapsed. And all I could do was to look up at the slowly clouding sky. The scorched black masses around me lay motionless. The dark clouds covered the sky, promising rain. Good. The rain will put out the fires. I took one final deep breath and looked up at the rain clouds. I couldn't breathe, but I still felt pain. I said that out loud on behalf of all those people who couldn't say those words themselves. Could be a dream sequence, too. That's always a possibility. That was 10 years ago. Okay, so not World War II. 10 years ago, sheesh. Miraculously, in the midst of all that, I was saved. My physical body survived. But everything else was scorched, reduced to ash. When a young child loses their parents or their home, there's really nothing left of them. And so, everything other than my body perished. But as simply as possible, in exchange for my body living, my heart died. I'm dreaming. I squinted, seeing a bright white light. I actually don't know whose perspective we're supposed to be in right now. Because obviously we were in Rin's perspective for the whole prologue. But like it's a fairly common, especially in like books or something, I assume in visual novels this applies too. It's fairly common for the prologue to be from a point of view character that's not the point of view character for the rest of the story, so I don't know. We still could be in Rin's perspective. It was blinding. Light stabbed at my eyes when I woke. I doubt I really knew what the sensation of blinding light was in the first place. What? As my eyes adjusted, I woke, alarmed. I was lying in a bed I didn't recognize, in a room that I didn't recognize. I was honestly stunned, but the cleanliness of the white room made me feel at ease. Where am I? I looked blankly at my surroundings. The room was spacious, and beds lined it in neat rows. All the beds were full. It looked like each bed's occupant was injured. But the room didn't feel depressing at all. Everyone injured survived. I let my eyes wander. I looked out the window. The clear blue sky was so incredibly beautiful. A few days passed, and I was finally able to take in the situation. I had no problem remembering what happened the days before. But I was much different from a newborn during this time. Strange as it is, that was closer to the truth than it might seem possible. The fire was just that bad. I was rescued from the fire. I woke in a hospital. My parents were gone, and my entire body was wrapped in bandages. I didn't really understand what was going on, but I did know that I was alone. It didn't take long for me to accept my circumstances. Maybe I had no choice, really. All the other children were in the same boat. And then later, in the moment I, naive as I was, started to worry about what would become of me, he walked in. He appeared the day my bandages came off, and I started eating on my own. His hair was disheveled, his suit tattered. He looked a bit younger than my doctor. Looked more like someone's older brother than someone's father. Hello, you must be a Shiro. His beaming smile seemed to blend into the pouring white sunlight. His voice was somehow irritatingly fake, yet extremely gentle. I'll come right to it. Would you rather go to an orphanage or go home with the man you just met? That's a tough one. He was offering to take me in. I guess I'd go with option 2 there, given the choice. And luckily, nothing like that ever happened to me. But, yeah. I think it's generally best to be in actually a family unit as opposed to just, not that the orphanages are, like, all credit to the people running the orphanages. You're doing God's work. Sometimes literally, and a lot of them are religiously based, but, obviously it's not the ideal environment for a child. I asked if we were related. He said we were complete strangers. He looked like an unremarkable, unreliable guy. But then again, he was no more or less familiar than the orphanage. So I decided I'd go with him. Oh, good. Then let's pack up quickly. It'd be best if you got used to your new home as soon as possible. He started gathering my things hastily. Even as young as I was, I could see he wasn't any good at it. And after he made a mess packing... I forgot to mention one important thing. Before you come with me, there's one thing you need to know. He turned asking for confirmation. He asked so casually as if asking me if there was somewhere I wanted to go. Yep. Let me be direct with you. I'm a magician. He said it in a serious, almost ceremonious manner. I mean, that's fine. I'm not gonna look down on you just because you're some conjurer of cheap tricks. It happened so fast. Now that I think back, I was also immature. I just accepted his words as fact. I took it neither as a joke or genuine statement. Really? That's so cool, Pops! I guess it said something like that, eyes wide in astonishment. And I was his child. Actually, I don't really remember how that conversation went. But every now and then, my old man would bring it up. He would recount that scene over and over, acting all embarrassed. That scene might have been the happiest day of my old man. A man named Kiritsugu Imiya's life. You can say that. It was one thing for him to tell a recently orphaned kid he was a magician. I was no better, but I got so eagerly bought into it. And that was how my old man adopted me, and how I took the last name Imiya. Shiro Imiya. When I said that name out loud, I felt really proud having the same last name as Kiritsugu. Hello, Laser Sword Kerbo. Welcome to the stream. We're getting adopted. Cool stuff. I'm dreaming. It's from my childhood. It's probably about 8 years ago, since it's about the time when I talked to my old man into making me his apprentice. Kiritsugu had started going away on a regular basis once I was old enough to stay home by myself. He'd always give some childish, unbelievable explanation like, I'm going to go on an adventure around the world. Then he'd actually do it. Weird, what is this? This is Fate Stay Night. It's apparently one of apparently a major visual novel, recently translated. From then on, that's how it always was. It wasn't unusual for him to be gone for a month, and at times he didn't come home for half a year. The Imiya Mission is an expansive Japanese samurai-style house, or mansion, not mission. The Imiya Mansion is an expensive Japanese samurai-style house, and Kiritsugu and I were the only ones living there. It felt too big and empty for a child like me, and at times I felt lost. But I liked my life there. Whenever Kiritsugu came home from his trips, he would brag and tell stories like an excited child. And another child, one who shared his last name, always looked forward to those stories. I may have been alone in the mansion, but Kiritsugu's stories always helped lessen that. He was always pursuing a dream like a boy. I was weary of his whims, yet at the same time he always looked radiant to me. Maybe that's why I hoped to be like him one day. Well, as childish as I might have been, I realized I needed to get my act together, since I had an old man with his head constantly in the clouds. January 31st. Face Day 1, or Face Day Night 1 Day 1. 1 day 1? Or maybe it's just day 1 and those are just little artistic flourishes around the text. I hear a sound. The heavy rusted hinges on the door creak as it's being pushed open. Chat, do you remember, if any of you were here at that stream, do you remember when we died last time? What day that was? I don't. I think it was early February, but I can't be certain. Light pours in through the crack in the door. My mind tries to shake off the slumber. Senpai, are you awake? Who's this? I hear footsteps drawing near, and I feel the winter air flowing in. Morning, Sakura. Wasn't here, that's fair. Yes, good morning to you too, Senpai. Senpai, it's morning. It's still early, but Miss Fujimura will be mad if she finds you sleeping here. Oh, yeah. Thanks for waking me up as always. It is no problem at all. You're always up early in the morning. I don't often get to wake you up like this. What was Rin's last name? I think it was like Tosaka or something. I'm not sure why, but Sakura looks more cheerful than usual. I don't know about that. I think you wake me up more often than you think. Then again, Fujini is brutal when she's the one waking me up, so I prefer you do it. Yep, I've learned my lesson. I'll try not to sleep in here next time. I thought we lived alone with our adopted father. Or adoptive father. Who's this? What's this girl doing here? I answer, still half asleep. My head's still not right, so even I don't know what I'm saying. Well, okay, but personally I'd prefer you not to try too hard. Sakura's giggling. Crap, I must still be so sleepy. I've said something weird. Give me a minute to wake up. The cold winter air helps at times like this. The chill snaps my lethargic mind awake. And in front of me stands my junior at school, Sakura Matao. I'm in my house's storehouse, and it's just about 6 o'clock in the morning. Why the heck am I sleeping in the storehouse? Yeah, I'm awake now. Sorry, Sakura. I did it again. I need to help you with breakfast. Don't worry about that. You were up late again last night, weren't you? Then you should take your time this morning. I'll fix breakfast. Sakura's practically bouncing with excitement. That's odd. Sakura's weirdly energetic this morning. No, I'm getting up, honest, so let's head to the kitchen together. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go, Sakura.
Senpai.
Oh, what? Is something wrong?
No, not exactly, but, I believe you should change before you head back inside the house.
I don't know, like, there's nothing wrong with some pajamas. Oh. I finally look at myself. I fell asleep working last night, so I'm still wearing my coveralls. This is like overalls? The coveralls I wear while I'm working are usually dirty. Who knows what Fujini would say or do if I went into the house as is. Okay. Guess I'm not quite awake yet. Must be more out of it than usual.
You might be right, which is why you should leave breakfast to me. And you should take it easy, Senpai. Besides, Miss Fujimura would be really angry if she saw the mess here.
Yeah, I'll get changed, so you go on ahead.
Okay, I'll be waiting, Senpai.
Sakura quickly walks out. Okay, then. I'll change into my school uniform first, then I need to collect all the parts I left scattered around. The storehouse is in the corner of the backyard, and all sorts of junk is crammed in here. Though I've always liked to tinker with gadgets, so the place is a treasure trove to me. The old man forbade me to go into the storehouse, but I ignored his warnings and snuck inside almost every day. Now it's sort of a base for me. I guess you could call this place my real room. The massive Emiya house never felt homey to me, but I've always felt at ease in here, surrounded by all this junk. Besides, it's wasteful. It may be junk, but a lot of it still works. The majority of the things in the storehouse are everyday things, mostly unusable. I thought we literally just said they still work. I'm not sure whether I brought it all in because I liked it in here, or whether I liked this place because it was full of junk. Either way, I snuck into the storehouse almost daily, and I made sort of a hobby of fixing broken things. I'm not the type who gets attached to things. But it just didn't feel right to neglect things that are still usable. Or maybe it would be better to say the idea of doing that just bothered me. Well, turns out I'm a hoarder in denial. The worst type of hoarder. Which is why I stayed up all night trying to fix a broken stove. I guess I'll be done tomorrow. Falling asleep midway is proof I'm not concentrating. I try to shake off my self-disgust at that. I gather the parts for the stove and put them back on the shelf of things waiting to get fixed. There's no more room though. Once I fix the stove, an old VCR is up next. Both of which were destroyed by Fujini. We can set that aside for now. And by the way, yeah, old VCR, yeah, sure, it's, you know, what other type of VCR is there? Ha 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 ha. But I think this game takes place when actually a VCR would be just kind of a normal thing to have. Okay then. I changed into my school uniform. Since the storehouse is like my own room, I have all the essentials, including changes of clothes in here. The rest are things like haphazardly drawn blueprints scattered all over the place and literal junk from my failed attempts at fixing various things. Also, there's some sort of pattern carved into the storehouse's floor, perhaps used as some sort of altar in the past. I'd make note of that, that's probably gonna be important later. Okay, gotta work hard again today. I clapped my hands in prayer at the storehouse and turned towards the mansion. Imagine you live in a mansion, then you voluntarily live in the storehouse. I walk from the storehouse to the mansion. This Emiya residence is a Japanese samurai-style house located on the outskirts of town. My old man wasn't from a notable family, yet for some reason he owned this giant house. That in itself was a mystery. It also seemed he didn't have any relatives here in Japan. And so, when my old man died, there was no one else to inherit this mansion, so it came to me as his adopted son. Oh, also, apparently my dad died. That's sad. I lost 2 sets of parents before even becoming an adult. That's tragic. And that's a tragic life right there. And so, to be honest, I don't have any administrative abilities. So things like inheritance, property taxes, and other complicated things are all handled by my old man, Fujimura. Old man Fujimura is a major businessman who lives nearby. Kiritsugu described old man Fujimura as an old man who's like a Yakuza boss. Okay, apparently I'm involved with the mob now. That's probably not great. Obviously that was his own bias to you. Hopefully. In fact, old man Fujimura is not like a Yakuza boss. He is a Yakuza boss! No! No. The Yakuza? No. That's not good. I'm being sarcastic in my own internal monologue, surely. That may be a problem in itself, but I try not to dwell on it. Anyway, that's why I live in this giant mansion on my own. So that girl, though, that was her last name, was it not? I think, maybe? I don't know. It's been 5 years since my old man died. Time sure does fly. I sigh, thinking about how much I've grown in those 5 years. I trained every day to become like Kiritsugu, but that's easier said than done. It's not surprising since I didn't have what it takes from the start, but the fact that I haven't improved at all these past 5 years forces me to reassess things. If I had to sum up my current situation, I'd say I set the bar too high. I haven't even reached the starting line. No, rushing won't do me any good. For now, I just have to do what I can. Okay, then. What I need to do now is... Oh, we get a choice, okay. I'll go help Sakura, or I'll take care of my daily tasks. And now, I have no idea. Like, I'm aware this visual novel has, I think, alternate routes and stuff. Like, as I understand, I think, like, the anime adaptation is, like, based, like, each different season or something is based on a different route or something. Never actually watched the anime, but I know it by reputation. Hold on a moment, I gotta do some moderation. I'm not going to reply. Okay, there we go. Banned someone. Fun. Anyways, though, like, I don't know how this works choice-wise, right? If it's, like, an every choice matters sort of thing, or if it's, like, halfway through the game, it's gonna be, like, a like binary tripartite choice or something. It's like, and now, which route do you want to go on? So this could be very impactful, or it could mean literally nothing. I have no idea. Let's see. Do I have to go help Sakura or take care of my daily tasks? I mean, which should I do? I mean, presumably I should do both, right? Which should I do first? And Sakura did come and wake me up. She's working on breakfast right now. I need to go over there and work on breakfast regardless, right? Or on breakfast before I do my daily tasks. So I think it makes the most logical sense to go help Sakura. Right, I need to help Sakura. Making someone younger than me do all the work would be embarrassing. And I feel bad for Sakura coming here so early in the morning. But I'm too late. Breakfast looks to be done already. The appetizing scent of the breakfast Sakura cooked wafts towards me from the kitchen. Sakura finished cooking and she's searching the cupboards for dishes. Sorry, I can at least serve everything, so go and sit down.
Oh, you're already here, Senpai?
What do you mean already? You weren't expecting this quickly? You're already done. I'm late, if anything. I wasn't exactly quick. It's already 6:10. And that's when we're usually eating breakfast, so yeah, I overslept. Man, that's rough. Living a lot. I don't know, was that just how high school went? I don't. Oh, it's been a while since high school, so I don't remember exactly when I woke up at that period of time in my life. But 6:10 being I overslept? That's rough. That's annoying.
I don't believe that's true. You're not in any school clubs, so it's still early.
Clubs have nothing to do with it. And if they do, you coming by in the mornings will see a lot of trouble since you do have morning practice.
Well, I have to do this, so please don't worry about me.
Yeah, you keep saying that, which is why I wake up early. Clever now. If you're coming by, it'd be rude to still be asleep. Yeah, like today. To me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here. And oversleeping means I make Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Though this arrangement started only about 1.5 years ago. You said, Sakura. The food just needs to be plated and set on the table, so at least let me do that. I stand next to Sakura and pull out the dishes. Sakura has a surprisingly stubborn side, so she won't rest unless I really push.
Then let me help. I'll plate the food, so please take out the rice bowl, senpai.
No, I'm saying I'll do it all myself.
No, you shouldn't. You're the head of this house, so the least you can do in the mornings is to sit and act all important.
I'm the head of a household of 1. Practically speaking, that means you get all the tasks. You don't get any respect. You don't get any social benefits. You just kind of floating through life, surviving, just vibing, not even really knowing what you're supposed to be doing, what it's all for, just living to continue existing. Anyway, act all important? I wouldn't be much of a head of the house if I made you do all the work while I sit back now, would I? Come on, go and sit in the sitting room, Sakura. Well, by all means, please
be that kind of head of house. I'm also doing this to pay you back for all the delicious meals you let me eat, so I'd like for you to relax.
Hey, we split the cost of groceries, so you shouldn't worry about that. In fact, I'm the one who should be thanking you. Ever since you started coming by, I've been eating a lot better.
I knew it. You don't get it, do you, senpai? That's not why your meals here are good.
Huh? What do you mean? You got nutrition, you got calories, essential vitamins and minerals. What more do you need in a meal? Taste would be a nice, benefit. It's got to at least be good enough to pass the tongue test, but otherwise, that's what food's for. To continue your existence, your survival.
No, never mind. But please feel responsible. Oh. Because I can't enjoy a meal anywhere else now.
Well, that seems quite problematic, quite frankly. What? That's a weird thing to say. What if Fujini heard that? She doesn't get sarcastic jokes.
You're right. It wouldn't be great if Miss Fujimura heard that.
Right, so don't say stuff like that, weirdo.
No, I won't. I won't say things like that, so I can help you, right, senpai?
Sakura looks me in the eyes, so naturally and calmly. Fine, do what you want. If you want to so badly, I'll have you do everything.
Yes, I will do as I please.
Well, hold on a moment. You can't be scolding me for not acting like the head of the household, that I am, of course. And then also be so like, if I'm the head of the household, then you should do what I tell you to, right? Where's my authority? I demand respect and authority in this household. But between these walls under this roof which I own, my word is law. And yours should be anyway, right? Honestly, you don't listen to anything I tell you anymore, Sakura.
That's true. Maybe I'm becoming more like Miss Fujimura.
Well, that would be a tragedy, quite frankly. She responds softly as she reaches towards the cupboard. Her dark hair gently falls over her shoulder, and the curves of her body catch my eye. I can't explain it, but yeah, it's awkward. It's awkward. You know, being a teen boy, it's just awkward in general. Being a teen in general, it's just awkward. I'm not sure if it's our age. Sakura's been looking more feminine lately. I don't know. Maybe she's been applying makeup or something, or yeah. Her casual movements, her profile, so pretty, and I inadvertently avert my eyes.
Senpai, is something the matter?
No, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Honestly, it's baffling. Why the hell am I getting nervous around my friend's younger sister? I see. So she's not the main point of contact, and like she's not like the main premise of the relationship. Like I know her sister, and then it came as like a package deal with, oh, by the way, here's my little sister. Although, by all accounts, it sounds like I'm closer with the little sister. Wait, are we a guy now? Yes. Yeah, we seem to be. So Joey redeems an on-screen celebration. That's cool, I guess. I don't know what an on-screen celebration is. But cool. Oh, bits. Right. Thanks for the bits, Joey. Much appreciated. Hope that like appeared properly and stuff. Alright, there we go. I got confused by the normally I see text with that. I got confused. That's the, it's not an emoji, it's an emote. Anyways, let's see. Hope we aren't a tsundere this time. I think so far it looks like we are oblivious. Well, no, we're not oblivious. We're in denial. Anyways, Sakura's just a really good and considerate younger friend of mine, and she's someone I need to look after. She's the younger sister of a friend of mine. We used to be friendly, though initially we weren't very close since she's, a grade below me. Ew. 1 year age gap? Ew. Sakura started to come and cook meals for me when I got hurt, and things kinda stayed like that. Oh, you used the love emoji because you're saying, oh, it's the love. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, see you, Jedi Steve. Thanks for stopping by. I think this arrangement was supposed to last until I got better, but I guess something or other happened, and somehow she ended up helping out with household chores. Either way, Sakura's a good cook, and her cleaning and laundry skills are perfect. Having her come early in the morning is a big help, but it's been disconcerting recently. Sakura isn't the problem, it's me. I'm sure being flustered by my friend's sister is part of the reason I feel guilty. Usually I'm fazed, but I blush because I get caught off guard like now. I wonder whether that's problematic as her senpai. Breakfast is lined up neatly on the table. So I guess to sum it up in a single sentence, my struggle right now is, oh my goodness, what can I do? Or is it wrong that I see my friend's younger sister as wife material? A perfectly balanced meal of chicken with parsley salad, grilled salmon, blanched spinach, miso soup with radish and carrots, and grated yam soup. I'm so jealous. Why can't my breakfast be like that? Thank you for the meal. Sakura and I sit down and bow and begin our meal in silence. The gentle tapping of chopsticks is the only sound in the room. Sakura isn't typically talkative, and I hardly have anything to chat about during meals. Like for me, for breakfast tomorrow, it's gonna be a salad, like romaine, spinach, some tomatoes, corn, beans and a salad, and a protein shake. This seems to... Anyways. So we eat in silence. Normally it's much rowdier than this, but the person who usually causes the commotion must have watched a spy movie or something last night, because she's eyeing the two of us through a newspaper she propped up in front of her food. Is this the older sister?
Miss Fujimura, it may not be wise to read while you eat.
Sakura remarks diffidently, but Fujini ignores her. Fujini's acting weird, but her being weird at breakfast isn't really all that weird for her. Like, for her, weird is normal. And normal, if she were too normal, would be kind of weird. Sakura's used to it too, and she's eating as if nothing's the matter. Sakura typically cooks up Western dishes. She really only began learning to cook Japanese dishes since she started coming here to help me out. Sakura learned to cook simple Japanese dishes, at least for breakfast, because Fujini and I prefer them. Now Sakura's cooking skills have improved to the point she's better than me, and I'm the one who was teaching her. Her miso soup is flavorful and refined now, and she's even gotten to the point where she can grate yams to make yam soup. Actually, I think today's the first time she's served yam soup. Sorry, Sakura, could you pass the soy sauce?
Here, oh my senpai, you've run out of the soy sauce you usually use.
And I can use Fujini's. Pass it over.
Miss Fujimura, do you mind?
Fujini nods. The newspaper shuffles.
Here you go. Are you going to use it for your yam soup?
Yeah, everyone puts a soy sauce in grated yams. Yeah, obviously. I knew that. A line of soy sauce streams from the bottle onto the grated white mound. I stir the mixture up, pour it over my rice, and take a bite. The stickiness of the grated yam combined with the intense flavor of the soy sauce. Oh, this isn't soy sauce, it's oyster sauce! Oh. Is that similar in taste to fish sauce, maybe? And bivalve's fish, kind of different. Fujini tosses her newspaper onto the table with an enthusiastic flick of her wrists. Was this all like was this a setup? Sakura, were you involved in this? Pranks, yeah, indeed.
What do you think of my little stunt, switching to the oyster sauce with the soy sauce? Labels first thing in the morning.
The not-so-mysterious spy punches the air in victory. Well, that face. Who pulls a stunt like that first thing in the morning? You're going to turn 25 this year, but you're still the same childish Fujini I've always known. 25? I'm...
That'll teach you a lesson after yesterday. You and everyone else who ganged up on me deserve divine justice.
People can't enact divine justice. I knew you were weirdly quiet. Can't believe you've been plotting this since yesterday. You have entirely too much free time on your hands. If you considered getting a job, a hobby maybe, you know, volunteer, get a vocation.
That's right, and because of that, I really need to get to work grading tests, so I need to skedaddle, or else I'm in real trouble.
Oh, she does have a job. Fujini sits back down and shovels her breakfast into her mouth. Is this the Japanese version of the salt? Unscrewing the salt cap? I suppose. Well, actually, if I were to make a distinction, I think this is more similar to like if you swapped the salt and the sugar. I guess. Not that most people have table sugar typically, but if you did. Like, this is like your friend is baking like a cake or something, then you covertly swap the sugar and the salt in your kitchen. Thanks for the meal. Breakfast was great as usual, Sakura. Oh, it was my pleasure. Hey, now I'm heading off. You two will be in trouble if you're late for school. And off she goes, stomping out in a rush. There's something terribly wrong with a world that allows someone like her to be a teacher. Senpai? Sorry that Fujini hardly savored the breakfast you took so much work into making.
No, it's not that. What did you do to Miss Fujimura yesterday? She wouldn't usually go so far as to mess with someone's meal.
Well, I accidentally called her by her nickname.
Well, I guess there's no avoiding her getting angry again. And you didn't apologize?
Oh, she like a teacher at my school? Is that what's going on here? Sorry, I forgot. Only because that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Still not good. You know how much Miss Fujimura hates being called by her nickname? You made her cry again, didn't you?
I mean, if she cries from getting called a nickname, I feel like that's mostly her problem, isn't it? Not only did I make her cry, she also ran away like a scared rabbit. And thanks to that incident, yesterday's English class ended up being a study hall. Okay, yeah, she really shouldn't be a teacher. Certainly not of high school students. In fact, everyone in class worked together to make an award for me from their notebook paper because of that. I threw it away, obviously.
Oh my, sounds like you brought that on yourself, Senpai.
Fujini is like an older sister to Sakura, so she's typically on Fujini's side. Okay, so Fujini is not related to Sakura then. Gotcha. Which is fine on its own, but I wish she would consider the fact that I have to deal with Fujini all day long. Fujini was originally an acquaintance of my old man, and she's swung by the house pretty frequently since I was adopted. Okay. She kept on coming over even after my old man died, and now she acts like a freeloader, eating breakfast and dinner every day. I guess it's just that hard to make ends meet on a teacher's salary. You take what you can get, grab the free meals while they're available. Actually, it might have been thanks to Fujini that I was able to make it on my own after my old man died. And now it is me, Fujini, and Sakura, who are the residents of this Emiya house. But at the same time, I'm the only one who knows that my old man was a mage. They say mages have to keep that part of their lives secret. Which is why I've also been hiding from others that I'm learning Magecraft after I became my old man's apprentice. Learning may be a bit of a stretch, really since I can barely use Magecraft properly. So it wouldn't make much of a difference whether I hide Magecraft or not, but since it was old man's dying wish, I've been training in secret. I finish breakfast and get ready for school. I put away the dishes with Sakura as I listen to the news on TV in the background. Sakura is looking blankly at the TV. A flashy caption reading, "Gas leaks continue," pops up on the screen. Oh, that's so good. There seems to have been a big accident in the neighboring city of Shinto. It happened in a building in the business district. Apparently everyone on one of the floors lost consciousness from oxygen deprivation. Authorities have been calling it an accident resulting from gas leaks, but for some reason these incidents have been happening often. You worried about the incident, Sakura?
Well, not really. I was just thinking that this happened in Shinto, which is very close to us, Senpai. Your part-time job is in Shinto, right?
It's fine, yeah, if the shop's not that big. I don't think an accident like that would happen there. But I can't entirely ignore the idea either. Gas leaks can happen in any building, and it especially pains me to think that hundreds of people have fallen victim. This is another game you want to play, Joey? That's fair. That's fair. And I gotta stop playing such cool games. I gotta play something trash that nobody wants to play themselves. That's why they don't have to worry about spoilers. Some say that these accidents are happening because of faulty construction work during the rapid development projects in Shinto. What I should do, I should put out a list of like, here are the games they're going to be playing in the next month. So if you want to, so do your homework and go play them if you don't want to be soiled. Anyways, yes. Either way, I hope there won't be any more victims. It's a disturbing story. We need to be careful too.
Well, don't worry about that, Senpai. I always make sure to check that the gas is turned off properly. Twice.
Oh, that's good. Sakura proudly proclaims. No, that's not my point. Yep, I've always known Sakura's a little off, too.
Senpai, did you lock the back door?
I bolted it. Is that a problem? Okay, I know I probably should have realized this sooner. This is the exact same background as the end of the prologue, isn't it? Which makes sense. I think my current character is the one that Rin was going to go see after, I think? So I guess obviously I'm gonna get roped into the Grail War, probably. We'll see.
Not all, then I'll lock all the doors. What time are you planning to be home today, Senpai?
I think I'll be home a little late. What about you, Sakura?
I should be back at the usual time. I think I'll be back before you, so I'll make preparations for dinner.
And I can't just have you making the breakfast and the dinner. We gotta, split tasks here. If there's anything I've learned by browsing Reddit's AITA posts, it's that any relationship between people of the opposite sex has to be based on the contractual language and a sheer 50-50 split of every single responsibility. No specialization required. Allowed. Yeah, that'll be great. I'll try to come home as soon as possible, too. The gate is locked tight. Sakura and Fujini both have keys to the house, and the rule is that whoever leaves last is in charge of locking everything up. Let's go. You'll be late for morning practice if you don't hurry.
Okay, then let's hurry, Senpai.
Sakura and I walk into town. We walk downhill along a long wall to reach a more populated residential area. The Amiya house is located on top of a hill away from the center of town. Heading down the hill leads us to the residential area. Going further down, we reach the intersection at the center of town. Several roads lead out from the center of town. There's a large bridge that connects to the neighboring town. A hill that leads to Ryudo Temple. A residential area located opposite my house. A shopping district that both Sakura and I often go to. And finally, there's a path that leads to our school. We head straight to school without taking any detours. It's barely 7 o'clock, so there's hardly anyone around. Students making their way to their morning club activities are the only ones to be found along our routes. See you later. Good luck at practice. I see Sakura off the school gate as usual, or at the school gate as usual. Sakura's in the Kyoto club. So this is where we usually split off. And yet, Sakura doesn't budge this morning. Sakura, are you not feeling well or something?
No, it's not that, Senpai. Maybe it's time you come visit the dojo?
Well, I don't really have any business at the dojo. Besides, Issa asked me to do something, so I need to go to the student council room.
I suppose you're right. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
Sakura quickly bows her head.
I'll be going then. Please look forward to dinner tonight.
Sakura runs toward the dojo, seeming almost apologetic. What was that? I wonder what that was all about. Issa, are you in? I'm here. You're a little late this morning, Emiya. Issei glances up from his desk, looking like he's been studying some papers. Is it just you, Issei? Where's the rest? They should all be at school by now. Well, unfortunately, the rest of the members are all very on the clock. They all have their set work hours, and they don't want to come in early or stay late. So that's why the student council president is doing busy work himself. Guess you got your own problems to deal with. Well, I live for these sorts of problems. I don't need your sympathy, Emiya. What are you talking about? I'm not sympathizing with you. Well, that's too bad. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. After all, the fact of the matter is that you still care. Issei, who's gathering his papers into a single sheaf and tapping the edge against the table to square them neatly, is the big boss of the student council. He's been working to reform the student council, which has grown quite lax, and he's been a friend of mine since our first year in school. His full name is Issei Ryudo. Same as the temple? Despite his old-fashioned sounding name, he has elegant facial features, and he's popular with the girls. He's also the student council president, so you'd think he would have the leg up over everyone else, but that's not exactly the case. Nothing beats a scalding hot cup of tea in the morning. It's saying stuff like that as he sips tea that prevents him from quite sticking the landing. As evidenced, Issei is quite plain. He's prone to be misunderstood, yet he neither dabbles in relationships nor he does what typical students do for fun. He's the heir of Ryudo Temple, which sits atop a mountain. He himself understands that he will inherit the temple, and there's a strong possibility that he'll shave his head without so much as a complaint as soon as he graduates from school. So, what do you want me to do today? Well, I'd like to tell you to sit down and relax, but we don't have time. I'll explain as we go, so grab your tools and follow me. Because I'm the school handyman unofficially. Let me get right to the point. Our school's spending habits are quite extreme. I know, the athletic clubs are favored, but there's not much money to go around in other places. Exactly, as a result, the culture clubs get the short end of the stick. I've been trying my best to establish a better budget for the arts, but the money trail has been getting pretty muddy, which is making my life harder, so the arts are suffering. The lack of heaters during the winter is especially concerning, and I have no solution for that. I see. Hey, hand me that flathead screwdriver. The biggest one. Oh, and give me some conductors too. Yeah, this one looks salvageable. Conductors, these. Sorry, I don't really know my way around tools. You can get mad if I'm wrong. It's fine, you got it right. So what about the lack of heaters? Is there anything else that's broken? Yes, the heating system in the second audio-visual room and the art club room might be on its last leg. Forms requesting to purchase new ones are piling up by the minute. And you're saying that there's no room in the budget. Well, this one's just corroded. Good thing the inside's still intact. Is that one salvageable, Emiya? Yeah, I can fix it. It's a good thing the old machines are easy to figure out. The wire's just burnt out, so as long as those get replaced, this should last until the end of the year. Is that so? Where'd to go, Emiya? I'm glad you're so reliable and helpful. You say some weird stuff, you say. Alright, I'm almost done, so go ahead and step out. Got it, I won't get in your way. Isai quietly steps out of the classroom. He might be thinking that I'm going to start on some sensitive work. Well, I guess you could call it sensitive work. You can call it that. I put my hand to the old electric stove. Am I just gonna, like, smack it into submission? No matter how long someone's been fixing things, I can't usually figure out what's wrong by sight. So the fact that I can means what I'm doing is not ordinary. I close my eyes and look inside the stove by touch. I'm using magic. Okay, that's nice. And then suddenly, a single image pops into my head. There are two places where the wire is about to break. The electrical pipes should last a bit longer. The power cord should be fine with just insulation tape. Good, I should be able to fix it with just the tools I brought along. If the electrical pipes were broken, it wouldn't be fixable by an amateur. Had that been the case, a certain strengthening would have had to be done, which no amateur could manage, but I should be able to fix this one by sight. This is the Magecraft Kiritsugu taught me. Okay, let's begin. I take off the cover to begin my repairs. I already know where it's broken, so the rest of the work is easy. This is the one thing I'm good at. That's right, I, Shiro Emiya, have absolutely no talent in Magecraft. But for some reason, I have a knack for visualizing the structure of things or blueprints like I did just now. My old man once saw me imagine and recreate a blueprint. He looked surprised and muttered, "What a useless talent." My special talent appears to be pointless. According to my old man, the fact that I can visualize object structures isn't really helpful. A mage normally wouldn't need to survey an object's entire structure like I do. He claims the mage's struggle is to instantly seek out an object's center or its core and transform it as quickly as possible. Whatever that means. That's why reading blueprints is a waste of time, and even that only helps seek out areas for magical energy to pass through. And so, fixing broken stuff is one of the only things I'm good at. After all, I don't have to open the entire thing up to find the problem. If I can find the problem quickly, I can fix most things as long as I have the know-how to repair it. So, you know, I guess I could probably make a good career as like a mechanic or something. Handyman. They say that there's a shortage of people in the trades, so, you know, it could be a good life, good living. Though I only do that with things an amateur could reasonably be expected to fix. Okay, done. What's next? Put away the conductors, pick up the screwdriver and wrench, and head out to the hallway. Issei, repairs are done. Oh, hey! A female student is standing next to Issei in the hallway. Oh, Rin! It's this scene. Hey, Rin. I'm a little surprised. The girl talking to Issei is Rin Tosaka, a second year from Class A. She lives in a giant Western-style mansion up on a big hill, and she's an extraordinary honor student. She's pretty, smart, athletic, no flaws at all. She's intelligent and polite. She never brags out her looks. She's truly the ideal girl to guys. Apparently. Which is why the male students treat her like an idol. But Tosaka is just too good, and she's become unattainable. The guys all say the only people who can talk to Tosaka are Issei and the teachers. Well, okay, I'm also a guy, and I'm including myself in the list of her admirers. Don't give her that look. What's your problem? Tosaka is looking at us, annoyed. So this is what it looked like from the other side of things. I guess rumors are true that Issei and Tosaka don't get along. Oh, sorry, I was the one who asked you for a favor and made you do all the work. Forgive me. Whoa. Issei's pretty gutsy talking to me and completely ignoring Tosaka like that. Don't worry about it, so what's next? There's not much time. Yeah, next is the audio-visual room. I hear it's been pretty, it's been on its last legs for a while, but apparently it's finally given out. If it's dead, I won't be able to fix it. It might be better to buy a new one. That might be true, but I'd appreciate if you would take a look at it anyway. I might think it's dead, but I might just be playing dead to you. It might just be playing dead to you. You think so? Well, let me take a look. There's only about 30 minutes until Homeroom starts. I'll need to hurry and fix it or I'll run out of time. I head to the audio-visual room. But I realized completely ignoring Tosaka would be rude. I turn to face her since she's been standing there the whole time. You're here early, Tosaka. I blurt out the first thing that comes to mind and then follow Issei. You made it just in time, sorry for all the trouble, Emiya. I'm a bad friend for asking a favor from you and making you late for class. Don't sweat it, it won't be a problem if I'm late, where it might be an issue if you were late. That's true, but I'm glad we made it. Issei exhales a sigh of relief and heads to his desk. It's exactly 8 o'clock. 5 minutes after the bell for homeroom rings, Fujini will enter the classroom. Whew. My breathing is labored since I ran from the audiovisual room. I take a deep breath before I take my seat. What's with all the commotion so early in the morning, Emiya? Didn't realize you became Ryudo's whipping boy after you quit our club. Not that I care, but since you have no principles of your own, don't do anything to ruin our rep. Don't be a jerk, man. Jeez. Ah. Standing in front of my desk is Shinji Mato. He's been a friend of mine since middle school. His last name is Mato, and he's Sakura's older brother. He's 1 year older than her. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, things going well at the Kyoto Club, Shinji? Of course! There's no point in telling an outsider like you, but the club's nice and peaceful. Now that there's one less member trying to hawk all the attention, we're definitely going to make waves at the next tournament. Is that so? I guess Mitsuzuri's working real hard? What the hell are you talking about? I'm the only reason the Kyoto Club is setting records. You've been an outsider for a long time, so stop acting like you know it all. Or you're gonna embarrass yourself. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Besides, I'm not involved with the club, so I won't really concern myself with it much. I put my bag on my desk and pulled the chair back. What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying my Kyoto Club's boring to you? I'm not saying that, just that I'm not involved and all. not a part of the club anymore, so it's not right for me to just drop into the dojo. But if there's anything you need, just let me know. I'll whenever you need it. I remember you weren't good at fixing and stringing bows. Yeah, well, thanks. I'll give you a call if there are ever chores to be done. Though I doubt that'll ever happen. Well, that's good. A captain who leaves busy work behind wouldn't be much of a captain. Just try not to trouble Miss Fujimura. She's terrifying if she gets mad. Mind your own business. Just remember that you're not a member of the club anymore, so don't go near the dojo. And just like that, Shinji heads off to his seat, all self-important bluster as ever. Huh, he does seem moodier than usual. Unbelievable, how can he talk to you like that? He was the one who kicked you out. Well, yeah, hence why he talks to me like that. Oh, Issei, were you there this whole time? What do you mean? How can you be so cruel to me when I was listening attentively to the conversation of concern for my friend? Huh? What does concern have to do with it? I haven't done anything worth worrying about. Fool, of course I'm concerned. You have a short fuse. Now granted, if you punched Shinji, that would have gotten you some applause. But it probably wouldn't make the girls happy. It probably wouldn't be right for me to put my friend in such an unpleasant position. I get it. Yeah, good point. Thanks, Issei. I don't think that would ever happen, but I appreciate the concern. Good, as long as you understand, but I was surprised you usually get mad at the drop of a hat. But you're pretty tolerant of Mato. Yeah, but Shinji's been like that for as long as I've known him. You get used to it. Guess that's how it is. It is. Now come on, go back to your desk if you're satisfied. It's almost time for Miss Fujimura to dash in. More like floating. The bell to start homeroom rings. Norma, the homeroom teacher, comes into the classroom 5 minutes before homeroom starts, but our teacher isn't what you'd call typical. Homeroom for class 2C typically starts 1 minute after the starting bell. In other words, now. I'm late! Homeroom starts with the sounds of Fujini's shouts and hurried footsteps. That slide in was pretty good. That was all done. Okay, I made it. Good morning, Ooh. Fujini tumbles and I hear some kind of unnatural sound. What? Contrary to the hectic sounds of a few seconds earlier, the classroom is now dead silent. The mood shifts sharply. It's no wonder Fujini is called a human roller coaster. But honestly, the way she felt didn't seem like a laughing matter. Fujini hit her head against the podium, and she's still lying on the floor. Seeing her lying there, face down and unmoving, has everyone imagining the worst. Hey, someone up front, wake her up. No, I don't want to. She'll probably, like, bite me or something if we get too close. She's not a mimic. Miss Fujimura wouldn't do that. Well, why don't you wake her up then? Cause I hate stuff like this. I don't like it either, and you were going to make a girl do it? The boys just step up and take control. The students in the front row start to get rowdy. Those of us sitting in the middle rows can't see what's going on. So we all stand up to get a look. Hey, she's not moving. Did she faint? Someone brings up the obvious. But the problem is, how would we get Fujini to the infirmary? Carry her? I don't know. We're all like comrades in arms after our time dealing with Fujini. Probably nobody's thrilled by the idea of taking the teacher to the infirmary. Miss Fujimura, are you okay? A brave girl approaches. Fujini isn't moving. The class grows more concerned. That didn't look good. Her head literally slammed the corner of the podium. that didn't hurt her, she really is invincible. Maybe we can recruit her for the baseball team. That's more like a threat. The moment that tiger becomes the head of the baseball team, we're all bound for the big Koshine tournament.
Miss Fujimura! Miss Fujimura! It's no use, she's not responding.
Hey, you're right. Next to her, wake her up. What? No, I don't want to. If she's dead, it'll be as good as dead too.
What? That doesn't even make sense. Well, things would get worse if we just leave her.
But nobody wants to get near her. I'll do it, sheesh. Finally, we have no choice but to go with our last resort.
Yeah, that.
Everyone's on the same page. Except Shinji and I. We keep quiet because the two of us dared not be a part of what was about to happen. Ready? Wake up, tiger! It comes out, a whisper, even with so many students speaking in unison. The word tiger is especially inaudible. And yet... Twitch. Fujini's previous motionless body reacts. Oh, she moved! This might be working, everyone! Keep going. It's the punishment of the tiger. Everyone must be on edge since midterm tests are approaching. It's a terrible idea on their part, but some students start to wave their arms and chant Fujini's nickname. Wake up, tiger! It's morning! You need to tiger up? Don't give in, tiger! Stand up, tiger! Go on, wake up! It's time to wake the sleeping tiger!
Don't call me tiger!
Whoa. Like a sudden bolt of lightning striking, Fujini stands valiantly, as if the fall hardly scratched her.
Huh? What are you all doing? You guys shouldn't get out of your seats during homeroom. Come on, get back to your seats and we'll begin.
Fujini, back to her normal self, stands at the podium. It appears she recalled nothing between the time she jumped into the classroom and the time she woke up. Hey, Tiger doesn't remember anything. Sweet, we're lucky this morning. I don't know if you can call this lucky, but honestly. The students shuffle back to their desks.
Did someone just mock me?
No, absolutely not. Must be your imagination.
Really? Then okay, we're going to start morning homeroom, so everyone listen up.
Fujini casually starts homeroom. She always goes on digressions between announcements, so it goes slowly.
Which is why everyone should go at an appropriate hour.
Go home at an appropriate hour. The gates close at 6, so everyone doing club activities shouldn't stay any longer than necessary.
But 6 is so early, Taiga.
Don't the athletic clubs get an exception?
They will not. And Goto, you'd better call me Miss Fujimura next time. You call me by my first name, I'll get mad, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be careful next time. Goto sits back down. He doesn't seem particularly remorseful. Too easy. When Fujini says she gets mad, she gets mad. It doesn't matter if it's with a teacher or students. And that is as close to a serious warning as she's ever going to give. But Goto doesn't realize it.
That's it for today's homeroom announcements. I'll see you all at third period's English class.
Fujini waves and leaves. So that was Taiga Fujimura, the teacher of room 2C. Her nickname, Tiger. That might seem like a joke, but it isn't. She got the nickname because it sounds like her name, Taiga. But Fujini hates it. According to her, it doesn't sound feminine. But she got the nickname because of how she acts, so she kind of had it coming. Class will begin, class duty, lead the greeting. As Fujin exits the room, the first period teacher enters. Because Fujin takes up almost all the homeroom time, mornings are always like this for our class. And so, another day of classes ends. There are many types of students. Some immerse themselves in club activities, some hurry home, and some hang out in the classroom after class for no particular reason. I don't really fit in any of those categories. Do you have a minute, Mia? Picking back up with what we did this morning, do you have some more time? Well, it's not like I don't have any plans. It's not as if I don't do anything at all. The biggest reason I quit the Kyoto Club in the first place was that I wanted to prioritize my part-time job. It's been 5 years since I started part-time jobs to earn money for living expenses on my own after my old man died. And when you do so many different jobs, there are some requests you just can't say no to. Today is one of them. I was asked to help restock some products for a bar since they wanted as many strong helping hands as they could get. Though I'm sure I don't have to go help. The bar is likely asking everyone as an excuse to gather some folks and hang out afterwards. There are two options. I should help the student council or do my part-time job. Okay. I don't know, how good's the pay? I guess I don't really want to get the reputation of just kind of ghosting my employers, do I? Then again, I seem to be good friends with the student council president here. Help a man out. I neither of these like the slacker option or anything. Like, these are both valid choices. I don't know. You know, I'll help my friend out, I guess. I can just call and circ to the job and say, hey, sorry, something came up. The stuff from this morning is unfinished. So I should at least finish what I started. And hey, if it goes quick enough, I can maybe pop in to work after. Change of plans? You want me to finish what we started in the morning, right? Leave it to me. I'll finish all repairs before exams start. That'll be helpful. Let's go check on our patient in the art club. Sure thing. Oh, but make sure there's nobody around. I can't concentrate when there's people around. Of course, I won't let anyone get in your way. Keeping up with Issei's brisk pace, I follow him out of the classroom. The sun has long since set by the time we step outside the building. The school gate is already closed. It's 7 o'clock, way past the time they closed the gates, but thanks to Issei's help, the two of us avoided trouble. You helped me out today. I'll repay you for this, so don't hesitate to ask me if anything comes up. Sure, I don't think anything will come up, though. I didn't help him because I wanted something in return, and I don't think I would ask Issei for anything impossible. Honestly, you might have to reconsider being such a good guy all the time. Having you around is certainly helpful, but I can't stand when other people use you for their own ends. Helping may be a good thing, but you should be more selective about who you help. You just do everything everyone asks. I mean, yeah, I like helping people. What can I say? You think so? Am I really that much of a pushover? And that means heartless idiots are going to use you as they wish. You're a busy man, so it wouldn't hurt for you to decline requests from time to time. Wait, you're scolding me for helping you now? What the heck, man? I honestly can't tell, but I think Issei is concerned for me. Ever since middle school, I've always been told how helpful I am, since I never decline requests or ask anything in return. I guess Issei thinks that's unhealthy. But I'm only doing this because I want to, and I decline any requests I feel are impossible, so there's no issue. You really don't need to worry about this. I know myself and my limits. Besides, helping people is a good thing, and not the sort of thing the son of a temple should be telling anyone not to do. But you take it to an extreme, you're going to burn yourself out. I'll keep your warning in mind. See you tomorrow at school. See you tomorrow. Issei leaves looking dissatisfied. Issei lives in Rudo Temple, located on the top of a mountain, which means he and I have to go our separate ways. I walk through the still darkened town. It's about 7:30. There should still be people out and about at this hour, but there are no signs of anyone around. Oh, right. There was a crime committed in Miyama the other day. A burglar murdered someone, I think. It must be why there's no one around, and why the school curfew has been set to 6 o'clock. Gas leaks and burglars, huh? Seems like it's getting dangerous around here. No wonder people are avoiding walking around at night. It's probably not safe to let Sakura go home on her own anymore. Fujini might be fine, but Sakura's house is in the residential area on the other side of town. Ah, hello. Tempest Spyro? Yeah, definitely enjoying the game so far. A nice sort of slow building intrigue. I guess I'll be curious to see where this heads, for sure. I guess I should walk her home, starting to not... Huh? I can't quite believe what I'm seeing. I must be wrong. I sense a presence on the uphill path. I was sure it was empty. Whoever it is, they're standing still. It looks to be peering down at me. Hello? I unconsciously hold my breath. A girl with silvery hair smiles and walks down the path without making a sound. And as she passes by... You'd better summon one soon or you'll die, big brother. What? Who are you? Do I know you? What she says makes no sense. I climb up the hill and reach my house. The lights are already on, which means Sakura and Fujini are home. The moment I step into the living room, I smell the delicious aroma of dinner. Sakura and Fujini are both eating at the table. Tonight's meal is chicken stewed in cream sauce, and it's put Fujini in an especially good mood.
Welcome home, Senpai. Please excuse us for eating all ahead of you.
Thanks, and sorry for being late. I should have come home earlier.
That's fine, you still made it in time. Please wait while I prepare your plates.
Okay, thanks. I'll go wash up. So keep an eye on Fujini to make sure she doesn't eat my portion. Ah, thank you, Up. It's kind of you to say.
Yes, I'll do that.
I go to my room. It's a sparse room compared to the storehouse, but it's still decorated enough considering I don't have any particular hobbies. Though most of them are random things, Fujini just left here. After I wash my hands and change, I head back to see my food on the table. Thank you for the meal.
Please dig in. I hope you like it.
Sakura is humble as ever. Sakura's cooking skills have vastly improved over the past year. My cooking is no match for her Western foods. My Japanese dishes might be a little better. Neither of us is any good at making Chinese dishes. I'm glad to know she's improving, but it's also a little depressing when the pupil surpasses her master. Well, it's not depressing. That's where you want to be. That's the desired endpoint, right? And if the pupil never surpass the master, then that means humanity, you'd be on a downwards trajectory over time in terms of skills and whatnot. It'd be like, sort of like how, in the Lord of the Rings universe, it's premise someone on, magic is, slowly fading, and each generation is, successively less impressive than the last. You don't want that to happen. You want the student to rise beyond the heights of those who came before. And you stand on the shoulders of giants, as opposed to, falling off. It really is delicious. The longer you cook chicken, the tougher the meat gets. Which is why you need to take the extra step of grilling the chicken to a crisp to seal in its juices and flavor. This requires exceptional skill, and it's something the clumsy Fujini would never be able to manage.
What do you think, Senpai? I think today's dish turned out quite well.
No complaints here. The cream sauce is perfect. My cooking can't hold a candle to your Western dishes.
Yep. Ever since Sakura started cooking, all her meat dishes have gotten better.
Fujini, who's been concentrating on her meal until now, pipes up.
And you're in trouble, Shiro. A student shouldn't stay out so late at night.
I was busy. I was helping some folks out, doing my brother a solid. She looked to be in good spirits thanks to Sakura's meal, but the moment she sees my face, her mood turns sour.
I bet you're helping someone again. That's fine, but you really should be coming home early for now. Don't you remember my homeroom announcement about how it's not been safe lately?
Well, yeah, but I'm a thick-skulled, bone-headed teen guy. I'm invincible. Nothing bad's gonna happen to me.
I'm speaking directly to you, Shiro.
You really don't need to make a homeroom announcement for something you can just tell me at home. Right? Just tell me at home in my room.
You wouldn't listen if I told you here, though. You're more likely to listen if I tell you at school.
That's just because I'm, obligated to.
That seems like an abuse of authority. Or at least mixing business with private matters. Nope, this is just what I have to do to make things sink in for Shiro. He always gets the short end of the stick because he's busy helping everyone. That idiot should come straight home once in a while and relax a bit.
Who are you calling an idiot? What's wrong with helping people? I'm not losing out on anything as long as someone benefits from my help.
You're starting to sound like Kiritsugu. That mindset has your big sister worried, Shiro.
Seeing Fujini eating so heartily makes me wonder what exactly she's worried about.
Miss Fujimura, just from that conversation, are you saying Senpai has always been like this? Yep, always. He's the type who would lend a helping hand whenever there's someone in need. It's not that he meddles in things, but he's always been a bit, precocious.
Fujini grins menacingly. Fujini, I'm going to get mad if you say anything you shouldn't. And you shouldn't ask such silly questions, Sakura. I glare at the two. Fujini clicks her tongue in disapproval, but...
Miss Fujimura, please continue.
Sakura presses on like an attentive student.
Then let me explain. You see, Shiro can't just help himself when he sees someone in need. It's like helping the weak and subduing the strong. When he was younger, he wrote an essay that said he wanted to be a hero of justice. This joker, can you believe it?
I know, it's so cringe. I'm sorry, Sakura. Quit bringing up the past, Fujini. Can't really jump in though because it's true. Besides, becoming a hero of justice is still my goal. You know, be like a police officer or something.
Wow, you're a really wonderful child, Senpai. Yep, it was astonishing. He was swooping to rescue a little girl from getting bullied by a boy twice her age. He tried his hardest at doing housework because Kiritsugu was such a slob at home. Aw, he was so cute and innocent back then. I'm not sure I got to be the stubborn, disobedient boy he is today.
That's on you, Fujini. That's what happens with children when they have bad role models. And if you want to say something to that, try making an entire meal all on your own. Fujini is shocked. I thought she would just lower her head and repent, but... Big sister's so sad. Sakura thirds, please. She holds out her rice bowl, asking for a third helping of dinner. Man, we really savaged her there. We relax after dinner, and it's almost 9 o'clock. Well, what should I do? There's still some time before my evening training. I guess I can walk Sakura home, hang out with Fujini, or rest. Well, I wouldn't want to hang out with a bad role model. Though maybe I should kind of smooth things over. We really did roast her at dinner. And resting is fine. Although, I mean, it's supposedly dangerous out, and I did literally mention on my way home that I probably shouldn't have Sakura walking home alone anymore. So I should walk Sakura home. Yeah, that's the gentlemanly thing to do. I think that's the obvious correct answer here. I haven't thanked Sakura for cooking dinner yet, so I should talk to Sakura. It's getting late, so I should walk her home. Sakura just finished cleaning up, and she's in the living room getting ready to go home.
Oh, Senpai, I thought you were taking your bath.
I'll take my bath later, after I walk you home.
You're going to walk me home?
Yeah, it's been dangerous at night lately, so I'll walk you home. Your house is a pretty long walk, so let me at least do this, since you go out of your way to come here. Sakura purses her lips awkwardly. Did I say something wrong?
I'm sorry, I appreciate a concern, but you should rest. I know my way home from here, and I should be fine alone.
Girl, someone was like literally murdered the other day. Go on, let me do this for you. Maybe so, but it really hasn't been safe recently. I'll walk you home at night for a while.
But, well, it'll cause trouble for you if my brother sees you.
Your brother, trouble, come on. What's the worst he could do to me? I forgot. Sakura's older brother, Shinji, doesn't really like Sakura coming over to my place. I mean, I guess fair enough, especially since we seem to have had a falling out of some type. But I'm a gentleman. Come on, you can trust me with your sister. I assure you, I have nothing but the most honest, innocent, innocuous intentions with your sister, sir. He can't say much because Sakura says she goes to Fujini's house, but me taking her home might cause problems. Like, I'll just walk you home, like 90% of the way there, and like hide around the corner once we get to your block or something. Alright, it's easy. Problem solved. I don't care if Shinji accuses me of something I didn't actually do, but I don't want him taking it out on Sakura. Wouldn't be a problem if I only walked you halfway, right? There's no way we'll see Shinji at the intersection. Sakura is uncomfortably silent. Knowing Sakura, she probably couldn't even lie about the fact that I walked her home. Hey, then how about... Want me to walk around? An English teacher wearing tiger stripes suddenly pokes her head through the door. That really doesn't fix anything. My concern is that a girl's walking alone at night, so adding another girl would be... I mean, there's strength in numbers, I guess, but, you know, fundamentally... You know, having a male present would be ideal. Wait a minute. Calling Fujini a girl might be a bit of a misnomer. There's a reason Fujini is the teacher in charge of the Kyoto Club. It all goes back to the Kyoto Club, it would seem. She was trained by old man Fujimura in Kendo, and her 5th rank designation makes her deadly. Literally and figuratively. I guess it wouldn't be a problem if you went, Fujini. I bet you could beat the crap out of any perverts who might try to strike. Of course I can. That's why walking Sakura home is not a problem. Are you good with it, Sakura? Yes, as long as it's okay with you. That settles it. Let's get going. I was just thinking I should go home too. Fujini takes Sakura's hand and starts to leave. Oh, hold on a minute, Sakura. What is it, Senpai? Dinner was good. Thank you. Of course, as long as you don't mind, I will keep working on my cooking, Senpai. Sakura beams and leaves the living room. I can tell my cheeks are burning red. Honestly, Sakura takes me by surprise a lot lately. It's perplexing. Time sure flies. Not so long ago, she was just my friend's little sister. Now I find sometimes I can't quite look away from her. I'm so pathetic. I've always thought of Sakura as being like family, but I can't seem to readily accept this change. And that is how my day ends. Just before midnight, Shiro and Mia must perform the daily routine of utilizing Magecraft. I cross my legs, take my position, and regulate my breathing. I try to empty my mind. I ignore everything around me and turn my focus inward. Trace on. I mutter the familiar incantation as if putting myself in a spell. No, this is a kind of hypnosis. With no magic crests and no magical knowledge, the incantation I mutter is really just a way to focus myself and change my body. Typically, humans do not have any lines which allow magical energies to pass through their body. To temporarily change my body to create a pseudo version of the lines, I need enough concentration to unify my entire physical and nervous system. Magecraft is a battle with yourself. For example, I insert a burning steel rod into my backbone? What? The steel rod itself is the one and only magic circuits I can prepare for myself. By passing this deep within my body and connecting it to my other nerves, I can finally be a mage. What? Hold on. So I've got a steel rod that I've just stabbed into my back? Am I reading this right? Isn't that like a terrible injury? This is not a metaphor. Okay, thanks for clarifying. And if you look closely, a series of metal rods which cannot normally be seen or touched pierced my backbone. I'm a magician. Kiritsugi Imiya was a mage. He was a true mage who disciplined himself with a wide variety of mystics, plumbed the deeper secrets of the world and its workings, and even performed miracles. And as a young child, I admired Kiritsugu and begged him to teach me Magecraft. Not a literal steel rod. I don't know. It said it didn't it just say it was literally a steel rod? But you can't just become a mage. You have to be born with talent and inherit a tremendous amount of knowledge. I obviously never had that inborn talent, and Kiritsugu never imparted any knowledge on Magecraft to me. I was told it wasn't necessary for me, something like that. I still don't understand what he meant by that. But it didn't matter to me as a child. I always thought learning Magecraft would bring me that much closer to being like Kiritsugu. I was blessed neither with talents, that is, an abundance of magic circuits within me, nor was generations of Magecraft knowledge handed down to me. The Magecraft Kiritsugu possessed, the magic crest passed down from the Emiya family, can only be passed on to a blood relative. A magic crest, which is proof of one's a mage, rejects any non-blood related relative. Anyone not blood related. Anyways, as an adopted son, I could not receive the Emiya family's crest. And then again, since I honestly don't have any idea what the hell a magic crest even is, it doesn't matter much whether I have one or not. Okay, so then the not a metaphor was a metaphor. Gotcha. It's just a matter of gaining the ability. If I want to be a mage, I just have to learn Magecraft that suits the traits that I do have. Magecraft is, taken to its extreme, a skill supposedly meant to release magical energy. You could say that magical energy is a life force. Magical energy is separated into two sources. Mana, which comes from the world's atmosphere, and odd, which is created within living creatures. Obviously, mana, which comes from the world itself, is superior to odd. The sheer power of the world's mana is simply not even comparable to the odd one human can create. No matter the form it takes, Magecraft utilizing mana will always surpass anything created from an individual's odd. So a powerful mage is one who excels at drawing magical energy from the world. It's a lot like a filtration system. A mage will use their own body's circuits to draw in mana from outside and convert it into something usable. Mages call the circuits they use to accomplish this magic circuits. This is the inborn talent part. The number of magic circuits one has is determined at the moment of birth. Typically, humans have hardly any magic circuits. They're normally quite rare. That's why mages will spend generations trying to ensure their descendants have a body more suitable for magic. Some families even go as far as to practice selective breeding in order to increase the number of magic circuits in their children. And since I was raised in a normal family, I never had a chance of having much in the way of magic circuits. That left me only one option. According to Kiritsugu, everyone is well suited to one specific form of Magecraft. He also said something about drawing out magical energy based on the person's origin, but I never quite understood that part. What I do understand is that even someone like me can use at least one form of Magecraft. If I can do that, then maybe I can be like Kiritsugu. And that's why I've only learned this one Magecraft. That's why 8 years ago, or that was 8 years ago. Oh. Well, looks like my secondary computer is turned off. Hopefully that won't be a problem. After a lot of thought, Kiritsugu took me on as his disciple, though he never seemed happy about it. I see, so Shiro is not competent, so the explanation from his POV is always a little off. Gotcha. So it would be like if I was talking to some like a doctor that didn't actually ever have formal training, so they don't actually know any of the specific terminologies and whatnot. Is that what you're saying? And they might have some misunderstandings of how things actually work at the root level. Listen, Shiro. Learning Magecraft means leaving behind common sense. You die when the end comes for you, and you kill when you must. Life isn't at the core of what we do. Death is. Magecraft is walking the path of self-destruction. I guess I knew no fear. I guess I knew no fear as a child. Kiritsugu smiled bitterly, placing a hand atop my head as I nodded enthusiastically. What I'm about to teach you is the sort of thing that could cause conflict. So you should never use it in front of anyone. And you should never forget your training, because it's difficult. Then again, you don't really need to follow it either. The most important thing is that you always remember that Magecraft is to be used for others, not for yourself. And that would make you simply a user of Magecraft, rather than a mage. I guess Kiritsugu didn't want me to be a mage. But I didn't care about that. I admired Kiritsugu, not mages. As long as I can be the sort of person who lives to help others, like Kiritsugu on that day of fire and nightmare. I got distracted. I feel the uncomfortable sensation of the iron rod in my backbone moving where it shouldn't. Losing control of my breathing now would be fatal. The pseudo-magic circuits would overwhelm my body and shred it to pieces. And that would be the end of me. Shiro Amiya would simply be a novice who died because he failed at an elementary step. I grit my teeth and tried to recover my connection. After pain, like walking through a storm of needles, the iron rod finally sinks deep within my body and fuses with me. I've been working on this for a little over an hour. And after all that time, I'm finally able to create one pseudo-circuit. A circuit capable of creating magical energy using my own self. Basic structure analyze. All that's left is to allow the magical energy to flow naturally. Shiro Amiya is no mage. He's just a user of Magecraft who can only create magical energy within his body and channel it into objects. And that's why I can only do one thing with this Magecraft. Which is... composition. Analyze. Enhancing objects. It's just strengthening Magecraft, where I apprehend an object's structure and channel magical energy to temporarily reinforce its abilities. Basic structure. Alter. I hold a broken iron piece, or iron pipe rather. I pass magical energy through it to execute the most basic Magecraft to enhance its durability. Passing magical energy into something other than yourself is like mixing poison. That's an encouraging analogy. My blood is a far cry from the blood of an iron pipe. Forcing an entirely different sort of blood through an object may well destroy it rather than enhance it. Okay. To prevent that from happening, I need to properly understand an object's structure and pass magical energy into it between the small vacant spaces. Composition, reinforce. This may be easy for a skilled mage, but since I have a hard time generating magical energy in the first place, even a task like this is as difficult as shooting an arrow and hitting a target several hundred meters from you. A typical archery target is 28 meters away. So it goes without saying how hard it would be to hit a target at 10 times that distance. My body temperature suddenly plummets. The fiery pillar passing through my backbone disappears and my lungs seize in desperate need of oxygen. My back arches in an effort to keep me from passing out. Damn! I failed again! The iron pipe is unchanged, The magical energy I passed into it appears to have disappeared, or dispersed, rather. Damn. Adding to something that already has a set form is hard. What I'm attempting to do is like adding an extra brushwork to a completed work of art. Adding something extra to a completed object raises the risk of compromising the object's integrity. The paintbrush hoping to improve may actually devalue the work instead. Which is why, despite its simplicity, strengthening Magecraft is so difficult, and not many mages willingly use it. And it's not that I chose this, but it's really all I can do. It would be much easier if I could make something from shapeless clay, but a substitute that just recreates its form is all show and no substance. Which explains all the junk around. Whenever I fail at strengthening Magecraft, I try to make substitute objects to practice and calm down on, but they all end up empty. I can visualize the structure of an object easily, and I can recreate something very similar, but it's hollow, and obviously doesn't function at all. I wipe the sweat off my brow. I realize I'm absolutely dripping with sweat. If this is as bad as it got, I should consider myself lucky. But what happened earlier was really bad. Had I taken even a second longer to recover my internal organs, would probably be mush about now. Only pushing myself to the brink of death helped me improve. There'd be some hope here. But nothing comes that easily. At the same time, fear of death will stand in the way of improving my Magecraft. Learning Magecraft means courting death at every turn. Even rudimentary, everyday Magecraft can spin wildly out of control from a single mistake ending the caster's life. The very first thing a mage must do is resolve to accept death. Kurtsugu always looked sad whenever he brought that up. Maybe it was his way of saying that he didn't want me getting into any of this. Saving one person means not saving someone else. Being a hero of justice means you need to be an extremely egocentric person. That was always his line. Kurtsugu always said that whenever I mentioned wanting to be like him. I still don't know what he meant by that. All I'm certain of is that I want to save people. To be a hero of justice. Like Kurtsugu Emiya. But I can't even manage the basics. I'm such an idiot for letting myself get distracted at the most crucial moment. It's not enough for me to just grasp at the object's structure visually. A skilled mage would be able to focus only on the crucial areas and efficiently channel magic energy. My dream is to become a hero of justice. I remember what Fujini mentioned at dinner. Never really thought of that goal as embarrassing or impossible. That Shiro Emiya will succeed, Kurtsugu Emiya has already been decided. That's why I've been doing everything I can despite how sorely I lack in experience. I don't know exactly what it means to be a hero of justice, but because I don't know, I've trained myself to the best of my abilities in hopes I'll be useful to somebody. I haven't taken my eye off that goal these past 5 years, but whenever things go wrong like this, I start to have doubts. I just don't get it, old man. What the hell do I have to do to be a hero of justice? I look up at the sky through a window. It's not just about being good for something out of the blue. Or for someone out of the blue. Saving someone and being a hero of justice are two different things. I know that, but what do I have to do different to differentiate them? I've yet to understand that crucial concept for the past 5 years. Save the game? Yeah, let's save. Sure, why not? Alright, we're on February 1st. I wake to darkness. I guess I'm not much for dreaming. Unless something big happens, I always have the same dream anyway. I always envision a sword. I have no idea why, but that's the only thing that pops into my head. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Perhaps this is what defines you as, well, me? As Shiro Mia? I don't have any dreams of my own. The only things on my mind while I sleep are what others taught me long ago. For example, on how to be a mage. Even if I'm not a full-fledged mage, it's only natural for a mage to be aware of the world they're in. Put simply, a mage is an irregular, an outcast from society. But even outcasts need to band together to survive. My old man told me there is a society of mages called a Mages Association. He also told me I shouldn't ever get involved with them. The Mages Association is said to conceal the existence of Magecraft and manage mages. The Mages Association watches over mages and makes sure their Magecraft doesn't affect society. But the strange thing is that they don't really prohibit mages from abusing Magecraft either. According to Kiritsugu, the Mage Association is only interested in concealing mystics. Even if, say, a mage carried out an experiment that sacrificed, let's say, a lot of citizens, the association wouldn't punish them. Their priorities are expressly in preventing the public from becoming aware of Magecraft, which does not mean Magecraft is completely banned. Honestly, anything goes as long as the truth doesn't come out. At least that seems to be how that insane bunch conducts themselves. Whatever it is, the Mages Association surveillance is absolute. Typical Magecraft research sacrifices the lives of ordinary humans, which in turn risks revealing the existence of Magecraft to the world. As such, the Mages Association doesn't permit research that would harm society. Well, that's good. At least we're not in, like, mid-20th century levels of, like, no ethics or standards for science. That's something. Ultimately, mages conduct their research in their privacy of their homes, while the world is none the wiser. So mages sometimes go into hiding to escape the association's scrutiny and oversight. So there may be some mages living in this town, and I just don't know it. I also hear Fuyuki is a spiritual hotspot of sorts. That probably means there's some prestigious mage with a storied history living here. They're called second owners, elite mages the association entrusts to watch over territory. Other mages who live in the same area must visit the second owners first to get permission to build their workshops. My old man was an outlaw who cut ties with the association and moved here without the consent of Fuyuki's second owner. So in a way, our family is a bunch of trespassers living in a house without permission from the landlord. Which means the second owner doesn't know that Kiritsugu Miya was a mage. So I tend to feel like our family's status as mages is kind of unclear. But then my old man, the bona fide mage, died. And even though I'm his disciple and son, I don't know a thing about the Mage Association, and have no real knowledge about being a mage. I have a feeling the association would want to dispose of someone like me, but they haven't made any sort of move. Apparently the Mages Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan, so that's probably why they haven't been found yet. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. The eyes of the Mages Association are said to be everywhere, and if someone commits a crime using Magecraft, the church's heretic hunters will make their move. Using Magecraft, however half-assed you may be about it, makes you enemies. So, with all that in mind, I honestly just want to study being a mage on my own. I actually went to sleep in my room. Ain't that something? I wake up as the sunlight starts to pour in through the window. Looks like the sun's just now coming up. Still dark out. It's cold. Wake up in the morning is getting tough. I get up, trying not to let the morning cold discourage me, and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. I've always been an early riser, no matter how late I go to bed. I might mess up once in a while, like yesterday, but that's rare. Okay. Breakfast. I had Sakura do all the work yesterday, so it would look kind of bad if I didn't return the favor this morning. I should hurry up and finish making breakfast before Sakura comes. I cook rice and make miso soup. Yesterday the soup had daikon radish and carrots, so I'm making onion and potato miso soup today. I make the egg omelet and use the leftover konnyaku to simmer it with bonito flakes. I make incisions into the sari fish, which will be the main dish, and sprinkle it with a little salt. All I have to do is broil it, but that can wait until the last minute. Okay, that'll do it. It's almost 6. I finished earlier than expected, so I have some time on my hands. So what should I do with this extra time? Guess I'll work up a quick sweat if I have so much time. Morning exercise is my daily routine, so I might as well do some light workouts. The hushed atmosphere of an empty dojo encourages one to focus. And in the morning, just as the sun rises, its serenity makes the mood even more sacred, enthralling whoever visits the site. Anyway, there's only one thing I do here. Ever since my old man died, the dojo has turned into just a gym to train my body. Training to be a mage means I can't neglect training my body. One of the conditions of being a mage is maintaining yourself at your physical peak. When Kuretsugu was still alive, he and I sparred often. Well, more that he just kicked my ass every time, so I never really learned how to win myself. But at least I learned the difference between a fight and a battle. In other words, I learned the difference between killing and beating an opponent, and how to conduct myself in each situation. Knowledge and experience are different. Without the knowledge to know the difference, it's hard to tell if you've gotten yourself into a fight or a massacre. It's as simple as that. Learning Magecraft means that there is a risk of perishing on your own as well as the risk of having to fight. And to mages, that means killing each other. That's why Kuretsugu wanted to teach me that I must always be ready to face death. But the person reminding me of that lesson is long gone. So the only thing I can do alone is some simple exercises. Guess I better get on with it. After I stretch to warm up, I focus my inner strength and begin my exercises. As I train my body, I assess how my magic circuits affect my blood flow, my skeletal frame's creaking, the fatigue I feel, and how much that all distracts my thoughts. 120, 150, 170. I think I'm skipping a few numbers here. Even simple push-ups can train my magic circuits as long as I focus on my mental state rather than putting physical weights on my body. 170, that's a pretty good amount of push-ups, I think, right? With no proper mentor teaching me Magecraft, morning training is no different than what most sports clubs do, and they have become very important to me.
Good morning, Senpai. Did you finish preparing breakfast already?
Yeah, it's all done. All that's left to do is set the dishes and grill the fish.
Oh, I'll help. Leave the dishes to me.
Sakura is clearly eager in her reply. And coming in behind the ever-dependable Sakura...
I saw Shiro's omelets. So he handled breakfast this morning, huh?
Fujini casually heads to the table. Well, let's just ignore her for now. I need to grill the prepared fish. Sakura, use the middle set of plates. The food will look better on those.
The plates with bumps on the surface?
Yeah, those. Grilled meals tend not to look good if you don't plate them well. And I've already graded daikon. Sakura reaches far to take out the plates. As she reaches out, I think I see a faint bruise on the back of her hand. What happened? Sakura, hold on a minute.
Yes, what is it?
What's that bruise on your hand?
Oh,
She averts her eyes, looking uneasy. Her reaction makes how she got the bruise clear. Is it Shinji again? Can't believe he beats his own sister.
that's not it, senpai. Well, I got this when I fell. You know how clumsy I am.
On the back of your hand? That doesn't check out.
I'm always falling and getting myself hurt.
How stupid do you think I am? Nobody gets bruises like that just from falling. Seems like Shinji needs some sense smacked into him.
No, senpai. My brother really has nothing to do with this. I just hurt myself, so there's no need for you to be angry for me.
Sakura falls silent. Look, if it's not your brother, at least give me a plausible explanation. Sakura may seem docile, but she's surprisingly stubborn. There's no use saying anything to her now. Fine, if you say so. I'll leave it at that.
Yes, I'm sorry, senpai.
Why are you apologizing? Shinji's the one in the wrong. Don't I say Shinji's name, Sakura awkwardly looks away. It can only mean he is the cause of the bruise on her hand. Shinji Mato has a bad habit of treating his younger sister like crap. I noticed it about a year ago. Every now and then I'd see Sakura injured, and she'd always make excuses when asked what happened. When asked Shinji about it, he revealed to me, to my shock, that he'd been the one who hit Sakura. Asked why, and he told me it was because she'd done something he hadn't liked. I got pretty pissed off, so I did to Shinji what he'd done to Sakura. We haven't been on great terms since then. Oh, I mean, fair enough. But yeah. Sheesh, what a jerk.
Senpai, have you made up with my brother?
Why would I make up with that? A-hole. Huh? Yeah, sure, we never fought in the first place, so there's not much call for making up.
Well, that may be how you see it, but my brother doesn't see it the same way. He thinks you're still fighting, so you should be careful.
What Sakura says strikes me as odd. Be careful? Of Shinji?
Yes, he's angry with you. And here he was the very reason why you quit the club.
Shinji had nothing to do with me quitting. Well, he might have been a factor, but it's nothing that you should worry about. And Shinji's right, this is a little unsightly. I pointed my left shoulder. There's a little scar there. It happened about 1.5 years ago. Something fell on me during one of my jobs, injuring my left shoulder. Ended up with just a broken bone, but I also came away with a bump on my shoulder. After the accident, I quit the Kyoto Club. Our school's Kyoto Club, out of respect for formalities, allows students to perform sacred shooting rituals. Male students participating in this exposed their left shoulder. Shinji pointed out that it may be disrespectful for someone performing a sacred shot to expose a scar, and since I was getting busy with my various jobs, I decided to quit the club. I can't say that's incorrect, that seems odd to me, though. What's wrong with scars?
Senpai, I may ask this often, but are you never going to shoot again? Miss Fujimura even said your injury shouldn't affect your performance.
Fujini would say that even if I'd broken every bone in my body.
Senpai, I'm being serious. I know I should give her a serious answer, but unfortunately I can't give Sakura the answer she's looking for. I don't have time to do club activities like Kyoto, but it's not something I should prioritize, so I think I'll give it a rest for a while. How long is a while? However long I feel like, or maybe until it's time for you to graduate. I'm looking forward to having you look after me then, Sakura. I pat Sakura's shoulder. Oh, okay. I'll be waiting when that time comes. She nods so violently, it looks like she might drop the plates. It's almost 7:30. Sakura and Fujini have long since left the house for their morning club activities. I went to school early yesterday because Issei asked me to, but I leave the house at the usual time today. I noticed something strange as I walked down the hill towards the intersection. Several police cars are parked in front of a house. Something must have happened since a crowd has gathered. There are easily 20 people watching. I'm curious, but the mass of people prevents me from finding out what's happening. I don't have much time, so I should hurry to school. So that's probably going to be relevant later. I make it to school 10 minutes before the first bell. As I cross through the gate with plenty of time as usual. Hey, morning, Emiya. I run into a familiar student. You haven't even changed yet, Mitsuzuri. Homeroom's about to start. You really don't have time to say hi to me. You're absolutely right, matter of fact, as always, Emiya. I don't know what's so funny, but she laughs heartily, not caring about her surroundings. This is Ayako Mitsuzuri. She's been a classmate of mine since we were first years, and she's currently the captain of the Kyoto Club. She's an unbelievably insightful person, and it was expected that she would be the team's next captain since her first year with the team. Mitsuzuri is a precocious sort, and people have always had high hopes for her, and even leaned on her, ever since she was the first year. And then again, she gets mad whenever someone mentions that in front of her, claiming she doesn't look as old as people think. Were you just thinking something bad about me? No. I wouldn't dare. Just making an observation. If you want to get angry about it, that's your call. You don't say that. That may be your honest answer, but you never say out loud what's really in that head of yours. Because unlike Shinji, you never let your true self show. Shinji, what's he got to do with this? Not how much either of you protests. You and Shinji are friends. You're his only male friend, and let me remind you that I'm the captain of the Kyoto Club. Isn't it only natural for me to associate our club's troublemaker with our former troublemaker? Me, a troublemaker? No, I don't believe it. I guess. The Kyoto Club's got nothing to do with it, but he and I go back a long way. I see you just got ticked off. You always get frosty whenever the Kyoto Club gets mentioned. You sure had some guts quitting and leaving Shinji behind, you know? Did you not consider how the other people you left behind might feel, like Sakura and me? What? Did Shinji do something bad again? We never have a day he doesn't do something bad. But he might have gone a bit too far yesterday. What did he do? He made a first-year guy quit. Mitsuzuri sighs gravely. Seeing her look so serious is rare to begin with, but the rest of her story is particularly alarming. What the heck? Why did he quit? Shinji took his anger out on him. He gathered all the female members and made the first year who barely learned how to handle a bow shoot his bow until he hit the targets. Shinji mocked him the whole time. What? How could you let something like that happen? I would never let that happen, but a captain's got a lot to do, you know. You know very well that I don't live in the dojo. Well, yeah, but what the hell was Shinji thinking? Maybe harsher than the others, but he's not the type to make someone into a spectacle. Listen to you, here's something, Namiya. What do you mean by that? Were you just thinking something bad about me? I wouldn't dare, just making an observation. If you want to get angry at it, that's your call. Why you? It's my own words against me. Fine, so what got into Shinji? Why'd he do that? I heard Tosaka shot him down pretty brutally. Well, I mean, kinda his fault for thinking he had a shot with her. But, you know. Eh? Tosaka? You mean that Tosaka? Do you know any other Tosakas in this school? The second year honor student in class A, Miss Perfect Rin Tosaka. That's the first time I've heard that nickname. But it fits. It's no surprise Shinji got rejected. And knowing Tosaka, she probably had some pretty harsh insults to go with that rejection. Anyway, Shinji's been acting out since yesterday. And that's why I've had to watch him like a hawk at the dojo up until now. Shinji does have a low tolerance for some things. I know it might be tough, but good luck, Mitsuzuri. Yeah, but you know how Shinji never lets go of anything? I'm just afraid he might really do something bad the next time he asks Tosaka and gets rejected again. No, even Shinji wouldn't go near someone who just rejected him. He's good about that sort of thing. But what if the person who turned him down comes near him instead? I don't know why, but Tosaka swings by the dojo to come watch. Oh well, you quit so you probably don't know that. That's news to me. Rin Tosaka doesn't participate in any club activities because her family forbids it or something. She even turned down nominations to be a member of the student council. So I just thought she went straight home after school. I guess isn't horrible. Once in a while, he's always acted high and mighty, so it might be good for him to struggle for once. Sorry, but not sorry. Mitsuzuri has a weird way of looking at this. Now that I think about it, they say that Rin Tosaka has a lot of enemies. I wonder if Mitsuzuri is one of them too. Hey, Mitsuzuri, that's kind of cruel even for you. Oh, it's almost time. Siete, Mia. You should swing by to see my bow work next time. Mitsuzuri hastily runs off. Classic Mitsuzuri. I never minded just how forthright she always is. I feel a bit more at ease and head towards the classroom. It's lunchtime. Our school has quite the cafeteria, and most of the students eat lunch there. But there are some old-fashioned students who still bring their own lunches, including myself and the student council president, sitting in front of me. Hey Mia, can I have some of your fried chicken? My lunch is kind of lacking in protein. Fine, but why is your lunch always so plain, Issei? I know you live in a temple, but there's no rule that prohibits you from consuming alcohol or meat, right? Absolutely not. The idea is anachronistic. This is just how my father does things. According to him, a young priest should not indulge themselves in luxuries, and if I want to complain, I should do something about it. So I'm actually considering joining the circus one of these days. That sounds like your old man. Issei's father is the priest at Ryudu Temple,
a larger-than-life figure who's also friends with Fujini's grandfather. Anyone who gets along with old man Fujimura can't possibly be normal. Oh, then, here you go. You owe me. I passed my bento box to him. Ah, much thanks. This is pretty much begging for alms. Issei bows deeply. I honestly question whether I should be reminded that he's the son of a priest at times like this. Oh, by the way, did you hear about the commotion at the 2nd district around the intersection you and I part ways going home? The intersection? Could be the same intersection where I saw all the police cars this morning? Apparently there's a murder there. Don't know the details, but only one child out of a family of 4 survived. Both parents and the older sister were stabbed to death with some sort of long weapon instead of the typical knives. Polearm, eh? A long weapon. Does he mean a sword or something? If it's a murder, then that weapon killed the parents and the older sister. I can't help but imagine it. Someone sneaks in the house late at night. Unreasonable violence, a horrible nightmare the victim neither imagined nor wished for, like a traffic accident. Parents are slaughtered, the older sister falls victim without knowing what is happening. A lone child, hidden in the shadows, is covered in their family's blood. Issa, did they catch the murderer? Doesn't look like it. Accident stemming from faulty construction in Shinto. Now murder with something like a sword here. It's no wonder the school curfew is... what's wrong, Mia? Did you choke on your lunch? Huh, nothing. Why do you ask? Well, you had a stern look on your face, which surprised me. Sorry, I shouldn't bring this up while we're eating. Issei apologizes and tries to lighten the mood. I actually don't mind topics like this. I didn't realize it was looking so severe. And then there was a gentle knock on the student council room's door. Sorry, is Ryuduya? Yes, what is it, sir? Mr. Kazuki enters, and Issei steps over to him to have a quiet conversation. It must be a casual student council matter, since Issei looks relaxed. Look at that. Something I don't see every day. Issei's surprisingly shy. He keeps his distance from classmates and even teachers, but for some reason he's warmed up to the student council advisor, Mr. Kazuki. Maybe they get along because they're both straight-laced. Suichiro Kazuki is the homeroom teacher for Class 2A, and he's very serious and kind of weird. Some parts of that is probably why he and Issei get along so well. The two continue to talk. As I watch them, I can't stop thinking about the murder. Classes end and it's time to go home. I can't wander around because I have work today. I shouldn't do anything at school, I should head straight to the neighboring town, but... maybe the morning's conversation bothered me more than I realized. Next thing I know, I'm at the Kyoto Club. What the hell am I thinking? Mitsuzuri said Rin Tosaka frequently visits. Well, that, I hadn't thought of that, but I think it'd be a problem if Shinji got violent against Tosaka. Shinji's unstoppable when he gets mad. Shinji lashing out at Tosaka because she rejected him would be bad. Well, I don't know exactly how, but it'd just be bad. Oh, Tosaka's not even here. Tosaka's nowhere to be found around the dojo. Mitsuzuri worried for nothing. Who's not here? Ugh. I'm asking who's not here. Issa, who I thought I'd parted ways with, is standing right next to me. Why are you here, Issa? Don't scare me like that. I saw you snooping around the dojo and couldn't help but come and check it out. So who you're saying is not here? Well, it's Tasaka. I heard she had a spat with Shinji yesterday, so I wanted to make sure things were okay. So that's giving up more information than you have to is kind of suspicious for you. And asked you who wasn't here. What? It's none of your business what I do around here. But it's pointless, Emil. Tasaka isn't here. She cut classes today. What? Cut classes, so she's absent? I see. Wait, Issei, why do you think she cut class? That's not the sort of thing she'd ever do. Of course she would. She's not the type to ever get sick, so if you want to know what I think, she's bad. Don't let her looks fool you, Mia, or she'll swallow you whole. Huh? Somehow what Issei is saying irritates me. I may not know Tasaka that well, but I don't think she's a bad person. Watch what you say, Issei. You know Tasaka's not like that. Have you got a secret crush on Tasaka too? My apologies if so. Forget what I said. Hey. A secret crush like hell? Don't make assumptions. I'm just worried Shinji's going to stir up some trouble. So you came here to sweep in and stop Shinji from attacking Tasaka. You really were going to take on some dirty work for nothing. It's not my place to say this, but you got bad taste, Mia. I'm unscathed so far because nothing's happened. But Issei, what was that crap you were saying? What, that having the hearts for Tasaka is in bad taste? Yeah, that. Tasaka's popular. I haven't heard any bad rumors about her. No, you haven't, and that's what bothers me. What, is she too perfect to be real or something, in your estimation? What part bothers you? Everything about her. That woman's a vixen, a minx, a monster. And my instinct should dislike her. My advice to you is to not fall for her. You're the one who always warns everyone not to talk about people behind their back. Oh, come on, this hardly counts as gossip. I'm even talking loud enough for others to hear. No wonder I sense people watching us. Well, that's a relief. I'm real glad Tasaka's absent today. Issei, please, can we talk a little quieter? If you say so. Understood. Well, have you know, my words were hardly slander. I just wanted to let you know that I'm wary of Rin Tasaka. Everything I said is just my own personal opinion. Yet you used words like vixen and minx. I'm pretty sure minx is definitely a derogatory term. Don't worry about it, it's a compliment. There are good vixens and monsters too, you know. I simply use those terms to describe her in a good way. Issei laughs. I'll see you later. I'm going back to the student council room, but you're going to your job, right? Really shouldn't waste your time hanging around here, then. Issei leaves calm and composed, perhaps because he felt satisfied having said everything he wanted to say. I've known him for 2 years now, but honestly, I still don't get that guy. I ride the bus from school for 20 minutes. I arrive at Shinto, the neighboring town, across the bridge. If it's not even 5 yet, I still have some time. There aren't many part-time jobs in the residential area of Miyama, but there are plenty in Shinto since it's a developing area. Our school allows students to hold part-time jobs, so I take on simple jobs. I prefer my jobs to be physical, and the tougher and shorter they are, the better. I get paid all while training my body, so it's like killing two birds with one stone. Today I'll work from 5 to 8 o'clock for a simple loading job. It may just be 3 hours of work, but it feels more like 6 hours since they make you work without a minute's rest. Which means I need a rest when I have the opportunity, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Walking around aimlessly would be a waste of energy, so I decided to rest at a park until it's time. This park is nestled between buildings, and it's like a super giant plaza full of trees and shrubbery. A park should typically be filled with families and couples during weekends and holidays, but this one is deserted at this hour. In fairness, this place is always desolate, no matter the day or time. This place is the same as always. I sigh in exasperation. The area is unkept, and it's really pretty ugly compared to the other places that are properly landscaped and maintained. As if the desolate location had set the mood, the wind itself blows cold and harsh. This place is the remnant of the great catastrophe that happened 10 years ago. It's the very place where I was saved from the brink of death. Interesting. I believe Rin... in the prologue, didn't Rin describe this as where the last railroad ended? Or something? Guess that makes sense. Why don't they seed some grass here or something? It's a shame to keep it like this. The area is quite large, so if they leveled it, there'd be plenty of space to work on the park. I sit down on a bench as I think. With nothing else to do, I stare out over the burned area to pass the time. I don't remember anything that happened here. The only thing I remember is that it was hot, and I couldn't breathe. And that some people died trying to save others. I wonder why that happened. One adult here died because they were trying to save a child from a burning house. Another person was offered all of the available water to extinguish their raw, parched throats, while others in the same situation died. Someone here tried to flee the fire as fast as they could, but the people left behind died. And someone died here because they gave whatever it was that kept them alive to someone they didn't even know. I don't like thinking about that. Just thinking of people trying to help and becoming victims for their trouble makes me angry. Is it too much to ask for everyone to be saved and for them to get their happy ending afterward? All I want is to see people peacefully prevail. Why can't that happen? That's a tough one. What you're essentially saying is that you want to save everyone. That was Kiritsugu's response to the question when a very young me asked it. As a child, I obviously refused to accept that idea. But you saved me, Kiritsugu. You knew I knew you were a magician and you could do anything. I knew you were a champion of justice who wouldn't let anyone suffer, and you did it without asking for any reward. That's why I've always believed you managed to save everyone back then. In response to shouting this at him, Kiritsugu looked more troubled than I'd ever seen him, and said something I remember to this day. Shiru, saving one person means you don't save someone else. Listen, being saved by a champion of justice only means you're one of the few they managed to reach. It might be obvious, but that's what a champion of justice is. Yeah, I get that. Now that it's been pointed out, it seems so obvious. Imagine if there was a burglar and some hostages, and the burglar intends to kill the hostages. Under normal circumstances, the majority of the hostages would probably die. But if by some miracle all the hostages were saved, there's someone who didn't get saved. The burglar, of course, since saving the hostages was done at the cost of his life. The people the champion of justice saves are only those whom the champion of justice deems to save. That's why saving everyone is impossible. Even God can't do that. Especially if it's a natural disaster. No person is able to save everyone and everything. The fire 10 years ago was like that. As someone who was miraculously saved from the incident, it wasn't my place to say anything at this point. I still don't like it. I don't do anything like that. I don't like the idea that there's a limitation to who can be saved. No matter how impossible it may be, I need to reach out to help. I can't stand to see people around me die like back then. If the person I am now had been there 10 years ago, I would have thrown myself into the fire. But then I would have died, and for nothing. That would have happened for sure. Jeez, I can't even fantasize in my head. Oh crap, I can't believe it's already 5! A bell in the distance rings, chiming 5 o'clock. I get up from the bench and hurry to my part-time job. By the time I'm done working, the sun has long since set. It's a little before 8 o'clock. I finished about 10 minutes earlier because I kind of overworked myself. Maybe it's because I stopped by that park before work. That might have motivated me to push myself harder. At the train station, the night is just getting started. There are a bunch of people milling about, and an endless stream of cars on the road. Guess there's no need for me to get something for Fujini. I walk along the path as I gaze up at a lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see all the way up to the top. As I gaze at the building, enjoying the nighttime scenery. Huh? I think I see something bizarre. What is that? I stop and try to look at the very top. I squint, trying to bring what I see into focus, but it's like staring at grains of rice. Rin. It looks like someone I know. But I can't think why this girl I know would have a reason to be there. It doesn't seem like she's going to do anything up there. But she's just standing there looking down at the city as the wind ruffles her hair. She doesn't seem to notice me down below. Actually, there's no way she could see me. Even my near-perfect vision, enhanced with Magecraft, can barely distinguish what's up there. I'm able to tell she's up there because she's isolated, but there's no way she'd be able to pick me out of a crowd on the ground. She's just looking down at the town. It seems like she's looking for something. I can almost feel her sharp gaze even at this distance. I forget how long it's been, but I continue to look up at the girl standing in the void. She stands at the top of a high tower. She's like a magician, looking down at the surface world with the bright moon shining behind her. Oh! And then she disappears, apparently done with whatever brought her up there. The rooftop stands empty, and the scenery returns back to nothing more than the beautiful night sky. Was that Tosaka up there? I can't be sure, but I'm probably right about who it was, at least. There aren't many girls I know who stand out like her, and besides, I'm not so out of it that I'd fail to notice a girl I secretly admire. It's just... Tosaka sure has a weird way of spending her time. Not that I'm one to talk, but you know. Unlike Shinto, there is no sign of people anywhere in Miyama. There's nobody around after 8 at night, and the town is silent and still. The house I saw this morning stands across the intersection. There are no signs of life, and a no trespassing sign hangs over the front door. In just a single day, the house has fallen quiet, almost like an abandoned building. A girl and her parents were killed by a burglar. I wonder what life awaits now for the single child who survived. I bite my lip, frustrated by my powerlessness. I promised I'd be just like Kiritsugu, but I couldn't do anything, even when something like this happened so close to home. I would help people, but I don't even know what I can do. I reach the top of the hill where my house sits. The lights are on, so Fujini or Sakura are still inside. I'm home. Oh, it's just you, Fujini.
Oh, welcome back, Shiro.
Fujini turns toward me, munching on a rice cracker. The TV is tuned to a lively variety show.
You're home late again. Didn't I tell you to come home earlier since it gets dark so fast in winter?
I had my job. Like, what do you want me to do? I am home early. I had to work until 8, so I got off my back about it. So get off my back about that. So where's Sakura? I see dinner's already prepared.
Sakura went home early. She said she had something to do today, so she just came and made dinner.
Fujini cheerfully replies, as far as she's concerned, anyone who makes her food is a good person. I see. That's probably a good thing for now. It's been dangerous lately, so maybe I'll take over making dinner until the new school term starts.
Objection! You come home so late. If you make dinner when you get back, I won't get to eat until after 10.
Couldn't you just eat at home?
What are you talking about? This is my home.
Fujini tilts her head, puzzled. Honestly, I'm not sure if a response like that should make me happy or sad. Sheesh, fine. I know it's pointless asking you to make dinner. By the way, what's that you got there? You didn't bring over more junk, did you? Fujini has a tendency to leave a bunch of junk here. She'll bring stuff like bowls from restaurants that are too big to be functional and unnecessarily heavy, earthen teapot, or a weird guitar that plays itself. She'll just think this place is a convenient storage or something. Show it to me. I'm going to toss it if it's trash.
This thing? It's just a poster.
Fujini hands me the poster. It's probably a poster of some no-name singer. Let's see. I knew it. It's a poster of a young man wearing a military uniform smiling with his thumbs up, all in front of a cheap-looking blue sky background. The caption of the poster in bloody font: "Loves the lovely Ranger Land. Come to the self-defense meetup." Hey, this is a recruitment poster for a youth group.
I don't want it, so you can have it. You trying to recruit me into the military?
I don't want this either! I quickly roll the poster back up and try to whack Fujini on the head with it.
You missed.
However, Fujini counters mercilessly with another poster she'd been holding. Conk. Her poster sword bops me lightly. Oh, okay, not lightly. Ah! Stars, I see stars.
You thought you were going to hit me. You'll need to up your game if you're up to do that.
That's not the issue here. How the hell does a paper poster make a sound like that? She managed some sort of technique only a true poster master can execute?
Oh, sorry. My poster's a collector's edition made of fancy plate steel. What? Is your head okay, Shiro?
Fujini, you're going to end up killing someone one of these days.
If that time ever comes, it'll all be good because you'll sweep in and marry me.
Yeah, not a chance. I'm not marrying a natural-born killer.
What? I don't think I'm that violent.
You would be that unaware of your actions. Pray that I survive. I'll have to be very careful from now on if I'm going to have any hope of avoiding being murdered.
Keep talking big, but now I'm hungry, Shiro. I've been waiting for so long, so let's hurry up and eat already.
Fujini gets up. What's up with Fujini? She must be really hungry if she's offering to help, even if it's just help setting the table. Fine, then you take out the plates and bowls. You can at least scoop the rice into bowls, right?
Of course I can. Hey, do you think it'll be okay if I use a bigger rice bowl?
That shouldn't be a problem. Sakura's not here today, so we'll definitely have leftovers.
Good, good. Then you and I will have a matching bowls today.
Fujini scoops mounds of rice into the 2 large bowls. Whatever, I was going to go first up and helping anyway. And if I meddle in what Fujini does now, we may really not have any dinner. Besides, this is the kind of chaotic scene dinner at my home has been for years. Another day ends. We finish our rowdy dinner, and after I see off Fujini, I take a bath. After that, I head to the shed for my daily training. I complete it as usual and then go to sleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Today ends peacefully and without incident. Alrighty, I'll save the game. Alright. Going into February 2nd. Open it on this scene. But I do think that's where we're going to have to end it for today's stream. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back Thursday with Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Hope to see you there. Getting some deductions and mystery solving going. But anyways, guys, until next time, I've been CMeeCraft. I'll catch you in the next stream or video. Goodbye.